The story of the Israelites is a rich and complex narrative that spans thousands of years, tracing their origins, struggles, and triumphs as a people chosen by God. Here is a detailed account based on biblical and historical sources. The origins of the Israelites trace back to Abraham, the father of the Jewish nation, who lived around 2000 BCE in the ancient city of Ur in Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq. God called Abraham, then Abram, and made a covenant with him, promising to make him a great nation. In Genesis 12 verses 1-3, God told him, "Go from your country, your people and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you." Abraham obeyed and traveled with his wife Sarah, then Sarai, his nephew Lot, and their household to the land of Canaan. God promised Abraham that his descendants would be as numerous as the stars and would inherit the land of Canaan, Genesis 15. The covenant was sealed with the ritual of circumcision, Genesis 17, marking the Israelites as God's chosen people. Despite their old age, Abraham and Sarah miraculously had a son, Isaac, as promised by God. Isaac was the child through whom God's covenant would continue. Isaac married Rebekah, and they had twin sons, Esau and Jacob. Although Esau was the firstborn, Jacob inherited the covenant blessings after a series of events, including receiving his father's blessing through deception, Genesis 27. Jacob's name was later changed to Israel after wrestling with God, Genesis 32 verse 28. He had 12 sons, through his wives Leah and Rachel and their maidservants, Bilhah and Zilpah. These sons became the patriarchs of the 12 tribes of Israel. 1. Reuben. 2. Simeon. 3. Levi. 4. Judah. 5. Dan. 6. Naphtali. 7. Gad. 8. Asher. 9. Issachar. 10. Zebulun. 11. Joseph. 12. Benjamin. Joseph, the 11th son, was sold into slavery by his jealous brothers, but rose to prominence in Egypt as Pharaoh's advisor. During a famine, Joseph brought his family to Egypt, where they settled in the land of Goshen. Over time, the Israelites multiplied and became numerous in Egypt. However, a new Pharaoh who did not know Joseph enslaved them, forcing them to build cities and endure harsh conditions, Exodus 1. Despite the oppression, the Israelites grew stronger, fulfilling God's promise of making them a great nation. To curb their growth, Pharaoh ordered the killing of all Hebrew male babies. Moses was born during this time and was saved by being placed in a basket in the Nile River. Pharaoh's daughter found and adopted him, and he grew up in the royal palace. God appeared to Moses in a burning bush at Mount Horeb, commanding him to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, Exodus 3. With the help of his brother Aaron, Moses confronted Pharaoh and demanded the release of the Israelites. When Pharaoh refused, God sent 10 plagues upon Egypt. 1. Water turned to blood. 2. Frogs. 3. Gnats. 4. Flies. 5. Livestock disease. 6. Boils. 7. Hail. 8. Locusts. 9. Darkness. 10. Death of the firstborn. The final plague led Pharaoh to release the Israelites. As Pharaoh's army pursued them, God parted the Red Sea, allowing the Israelites to cross on dry ground. When the Egyptians followed, the waters returned, drowning the army, Exodus 14. The Israelites spent 40 years in the wilderness on their way to the Promised Land. During this time, God provided manna and quail for food, Exodus 16. The 10 Commandments were given to Moses on Mount Sinai, Exodus 20. The Israelites repeatedly disobeyed God, leading to delays and punishments. Moses died before they could enter the Promised Land, and Joshua took over the leadership of the Israelites. Under the leadership of Joshua, Moses' successor, the Israelites crossed the Jordan River and conquered Canaan, the land promised to their ancestors. Key events include: after Joshua's death, the Israelites were ruled by judges, leaders raised by God during times of crisis. Notable judges include Deborah, Gideon, and Samson. The Israelites eventually demanded a king. Saul was the first king but was disobedient to God. David, a shepherd boy, became Israel's greatest king. He established Jerusalem as the capital and brought the Ark of the Covenant there. Solomon, David's son, built the temple in Jerusalem but later strayed from God. After Solomon's reign, the kingdom split into Israel, Northern Kingdom; Judah, Southern Kingdom. The Israelites often turned to idolatry, leading to invasions and exile. The Assyrian exile, 722 BC. Israel was conquered, and its people were scattered. The Babylonian exile, 586 BC. Judah was conquered, Jerusalem was destroyed, and the people were taken to Babylon. After 70 years, the Israelites returned under leaders like Zerubbabel, Ezra, and Nehemiah, who rebuilt Jerusalem and the temple. During the period between the Old and New Testaments, the Israelites were under Persian, Greek, and Roman rule. The rise of groups like the Pharisees and Sadducees shaped Jewish religious life. The New Testament reveals Jesus Christ as the promised Messiah, fulfilling prophecies given to the Israelites. Through his death and resurrection, salvation was offered to all people, extending the blessings of Abraham to the entire world. This narrative of the Israelites continues to influence millions, showcasing God's faithfulness, the consequences of disobedience, and his ultimate plan for redemption.